Right now at 11, Taiwan rocked by a major earthquake. What we're learning tonight about the destruction. Plus, asylum seekers new to Portland now at risk of living on the streets. What the county is handing out with extra funds to keep them in hotel rooms running out. And later,
But all you can do is put a foot forward and keep going.
meet the Salem runner reaching a major milestone that's taken him coast to coast, one step at a time. Good evening, everyone. We begin at 11 with Oregon's biggest school district preparing to make some $30 million in proposed cuts. Thanks for joining us. I'm David Molko. Tonight, we are seeing the reality of how some of those proposals might impact staff, including those who work in special education. Alma McCarty was at a school board meeting this evening where some staff decided to speak up. Alma?
Well, David, we are just 3 weeks out or so from the interim superintendent presenting the proposed budget. We have known for months that the $30 million will come from both central operations and from schools. Tonight, we heard from some worried what comes next could seriously impact the most vulnerable students.
At the Portland Public Schools district office.
We're doing a school board meeting outside, the People's School Board meeting, so that we can discuss these cuts.
Proposed cuts to certain special education services compelled dozens to show up and speak out.
It's going to fall on school-based staff that are here to take on additional roles related to assistive technology, related to complex feeding needs, behavioral needs of students, and we are already doing the best we can with the minimal amount we can. We can't take any more away. I'm sorry.
Every year, time and again, student-facing positions are cut, impacting our students, while we still have this kind of top-heavy, bloated organization happening.
PPS staff like Mike Carlip, a behavior analyst, say they'd like the district to reconsider reducing positions like his and make the money work for these students.
These vital services are being cut, and how are they going to get these services now that all of these experts in these services are being cut?
Cut two inside the board meeting.
Your choices to cut teachers at schools are affecting me.
Where students weighed in.
I encourage you to focus on special education students. I feel like Portland Public Schools is not caring about them as much as they should.
District officials argue they do care, saying these aren't cuts so much as staffing shifts as part of PPS's special education program improvement plan. And they say students' needs will be met. PPS also says while they will have to make $30 million in cuts from this upcoming budget, that's not the primary driver behind these changes.
It's not necessarily to get my job back. It's about getting the students the services that they need to succeed.
Staff we heard from say this could impact at least a dozen jobs in their program. Now, as for the overall proposed budget, the interim superintendent will present it to the board at the end of April, and the board will then fully approve it by June. David?
All right, Alma, thank you. Appreciate that update. Meanwhile, the board also discussed their search for a new superintendent. It included findings from a community survey. Dr. Sandy Husk has been serving as interim superintendent since February after Guadalupe Guerrero stepped down following the end of the teacher strike. Husk was the superintendent of the Salem-Keizer district from 2006 to 2014. To get you caught up on tonight's other headlines, new video shows the aftermath of a 7.4 earthquake that struck Wednesday morning in Taiwan. Video shows a collapsed building in the city of Hualien, about 100 miles southeast of the capital, Taipei. At least 4 people have now been confirmed dead and more than 50 people injured. That's according to Reuters. There's also been reports of landslides and debris closing some highways along the less populated eastern coast. Tsunami alerts for Japan and the Philippines have been lifted. There is no tsunami threat for the west coast of the U.S. or Canada. This is Taiwan's strongest earthquake in nearly 25 years. Back in the northwest, a Vancouver man is accused of shooting and killing another man with a bow and arrow. Witnesses say the two were fighting early this morning in front of a home. Police say the suspect, Richard Vanderhoek, called 911 to report the shooting and referred to the victim as an acquaintance. We spoke to a neighbor this afternoon about what happened.
I look out and I see a body with an arrow sticking out in front of my house. So I was very confused at this point. I went out and asked. The cops were questioning me, and I never thought that this would happen in my neighborhood.
Understandably, Vanderhoek was arrested on second-degree murder charges. And also in Vancouver, 5 men are behind bars in connection with an armed robbery and shooting at a C-Tran bus stop. Just before 10 Sunday night, police got a call about a disturbance at the Vine Turtle Place stop downtown. Everyone had left by the time officers arrived, but then a man several blocks away called 911 requesting an ambulance. It turns out he had a gunshot wound. Officers say they tracked down a bus with 5 suspects on board with the victim's property, including his shoes, drugs, and a handgun. All 5 are now facing robbery charges. The victim will be okay. Well, now to another side of our homeless crisis, with some 80 asylum seekers in the Rose City, including 30 children, worried they could end up on the streets by the end of the week. That is after the nonprofit housing them ran out of funds, and Multnomah County offered up tents as an alternative. Blair Best has the story.
Inside a hotel by the Portland airport, 80 asylum seekers are on borrowed time.
Me llamo Gabriela Morales, soy venezolana, vengo de Venezuela.
This is Gabriela. She and her daughter left Venezuela for America 6 months ago. She was told she'd find help in Portland as she waits for her asylum claim to process.
Yo pasé mucho trabajo en Chicago, no teníamos nada y me dijeron que aquí era mejor, que estaba aquí mejor, que si había trabajo, que si ayudaban aquí.
A local nonprofit called Emerge has been paying for her to stay in this hotel for the past month. That nonprofit ran out of money last week. Gabriela tries not to think about it.
No quería ni siquiera pensar en eso porque en realidad no tenemos a dónde irnos.
So again, 80 people that make up 20 families, including 30 children, all under the age of 12, could end up on the street come the end of this week.
The money had just run out. The organization couldn't pay any longer, and so we were looked at as a resource.
Grace Zarpak is a policy advisor for Commissioner Renee Gonzalez. They spent about $10,000 from their own budget to keep the families in the hotel for 1 more week. That ends this Friday. So they've asked the county to step in, and we're told they gave them 24 4-person tents.
It's a heightened concern. We were very concerned because with tents doesn't come hygiene, being able to go to the bathroom, shower, things like that.
Dennis Thoralt is a spokesperson for Multnomah County.
We're seeing so many folks coming here, and we have this group of folks, we have so many other folks who have come through. And I think the chair's office is a little disappointed in the state a little bit for not coming up with even more resources.
Does the county see tents as a humane solution here?
We're talking about doing more than tents. So that was some of the discussion, if there couldn't be anything else worked out for those folks. But like I said, we are in conversations with the partners about how we can fill the gap in the short term for those folks and also going forward.
The prospect of offering tents with no place to place them to 80 refugees, including 39 children, is unconscionable.
The nonprofits supporting these families told KGW in an email that they're grateful for the city's response. They know no one wants to see children sleep outside, a nightmare closer to becoming reality for mothers like Gabriela.
No sé qué decirle. Lo que queremos es que nos ayude, que por eso se ha hecho lo que se ha hecho y hemos buscado de tratar la manera de que vean que necesitamos la ayuda en realidad, porque no tenemos a dónde irnos, estamos aquí esperando.
Now, we're still waiting to hear back from the governor's office on all of this, but Commissioner Gonzalez, he's looking for long-term solutions. He's meeting with the Red Cross on Wednesday and also looking at the University of Portland for any housing options there. Blair Best, KGW News.
Oregon has officially recriminalized drug possession with the new law set to take effect in September. The change has sparked a lot of new questions since the law allows counties to set up deflection programs, which could send some users to treatment instead of into the court system. We talked with the director at Recovery Works Northwest. Their medically managed detox center houses 16 people, and he says there are just 95 beds for similar treatment across Multnomah County. His concern, there may not be enough spaces to make deflection work.
we're full as it is. So putting every officer on the street looking for folks that are either going to go to jail or take detox is going to result in a lot more calls our way.
The center's director says the county needs a system to track capacity in real time. Meanwhile, Oregon's Criminal Justice Commission estimates the new law will lead to more than 1,300 new convictions for drug possession each and every year. Straight ahead on KGW News at 11, teaming up to put the next generation of animators on the creative fast track. Plus, 50 states and countless miles not on the track, how a Salem man facing a headwind of serious health issues reached his goal one step at a time. Joe?
That's absolutely incredible. What was incredible today was our weather. We saw daytime highs close to 80 degrees. We missed it by 2 degrees, missed the record by 1. Now I'm tracking some changes that move on shore late tonight and into tomorrow. Yeah, we're going to be seeing a big dip in our temperatures tomorrow afternoon. I'll let you know how cold things get over the next few days in just a few minutes.